In addition to supporting the bracket notation we saw in the last section, Ruby also supports a way of accessing elements called array slicing. This lets us select multiple elements at a time. Let's redefine A to be purely numerical. This is in preparation for next section, when we'll talk about array sorting. So let's say 42, 8, 17, and 99. Now, one way to slice is to use the explicit slice method, like this, a.slice. And then we can give it two indices, 1, say, comma, 3. See if you can guess what this might do. Well, first of all, I have to give it a closing parenthesis. There we go. So what this does is it goes from index 1, which is here, to 3. So it includes the elements at index 1, 2, and 3. What if we did this? Still just goes to the end. 1, comma 2 should just be the two middle ones, like that. So I think you get the idea. But there's an even more intuitive way to do this using ranges. We saw this when we talked about string iteration. We did a range from, say, 0, ... 4. So for example, we can do array.slice 1, ... 3. And that's the same thing as 1, comma 3. As is often the case in Ruby, there's more than one way to do things. And while it's perfectly correct to use the explicit slice method, it's probably more common to use the square bracket notation. So in addition to letting us select individual elements, we can use square brackets like this. Actually, let's do the other one first. So 1, comma 3. Oops, and that won't work because we've got a dot here. So A of 1, comma 3 is the same as a.slice of 1, comma 3. So we can see this one up here where I forgot the closing parenthesis. This is the same as this. And similarly, as you can probably guess, we can do A of a range, which is pretty nice. This is the second time we've seen range. It's worth noting that you can convert a range to an array using the toA method, like this. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's do 1 up to 10 dot toA. See what happens. This is what we've been doing here, right? 1 ... 3. So 1 ... 10 toA, oops, gives us an error. So what happened there, if you look closely, you can see there's a no method error exception. We'll be talking about exceptions later in this tutorial. It says undefined method toA for 10 integer. So what Ruby is trying to do here is call the toA method on 10. But there is no such method. The way around this is to put it in parentheses like that. This is a really convenient way to get an array of numbers in a particular sequence really quickly. And in fact, it even works with characters. So for example, if we do A ... Z to A, look at that. Pretty cool.